Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of your favorite Idaho podcast. All right, as always, we're sponsored by the Health West. These guys are fantastic. They're great. Google them where they're closest to you and give them a try. Bring your friends and family over there, and they're awesome. Today, I've been thinking about some stuff lately, as I'm always, I don't do, you are longtime listeners probably thinking, this guy probably doesn't think a lot, but I was, contrary to popular belief, I was thinking. But what I'm thinking is if you want to grow a business and to be respected while doing it, there are two things you can't avoid: making critical decisions and having hard conversations. Now, I'm sure those of you who are listening, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's true, but maybe I've resorted to text messages or emails or Slack to have those conversations because I don't have the time to have those conversations, or I don't like having those conversations because they're inconvenient. They're uncomfortable. Of course they are. They're uncomfortable, but those times call for an actual conversation. There's times that you can actually Slack something, you can email something, but when there's situations that arise, you're like you feel it in your bones. So you're like, I need to have a conversation with this person. It will be misconstrued if it's sent over text message, email, or Slack. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, but most of the time, it's going to come off as very rude or just in just a weird, offensive way if you try to put those kind of thoughts in an email, because they don't see your body language, they don't hear your tone of voice. You got to have those tough conversations when it's called for. The reason being is because that is an opportunity for your growth and hopefully for their growth when this time comes when you need to have those conversations. The easy way out might feel better in the moment, but it crushes your leadership credibility in the long run. Okay, let's talk about it. So true leadership means stepping into discomfort. There's many times I'm sure you can think about in your own lives. I can think about in my own life that I've had to have these difficult conversations with vendors, with employees, different partners, and no one likes to have them. No one likes to have them, but you grow yourself because of them. You're able to move your company forward because of them, and you create better relationships because of them. Now, when I say difficult conversations, I don't mean you're a dictator and specifically you being a bully or a Karen in this conversation. There's no need for being a Karen or a bully in these kind of conversations. If you want to learn how to have a good conversation with someone, an effective conversation with someone, go look up Chris Voss. Listen to him and his conversation and how to negotiate and how to deal with people. And that will give you some really good solid foundation of where to start. Okay. So hard conversations with employees, partners, vendors, they're not avoidable. You got to rip them off. Any decision you don't make, it sticks with you. And I'm telling you, it sticks with you. It festers, and you just gotta rip it off and make sure you go forward. Every time you dodge them, you stunt your leadership growth and damage trust. You miss out on opportunities to grow through adversity. I'll say that a lot throughout this episode, guys. Um, that's just the truth of it. So one of my favorite quotes from the book, Your Next Five Moves with Patrick Bet-David is, if the only challenge you face are reactive, the only challenges you face are reactive, you're not growing. You have to set up challenges for yourself and take them on if you want to keep pushing forward. So what does that mean? So if you're just sitting back and you're like, hey, I'm just on cruise control, things are good, whatever, and the only challenges that happen are, the things that hit you in the face with you living your normal life, you're not growing. You're not growing. And actually, you're going to lull yourself into, a depression and other realms of that sort. But as you set yourself up, you set challenges up for yourself, like, hey, I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to run this half marathon. I'm going to do this. Those challenges ahead of you because you're setting them up. They're going to be tough. You know what you're up for. But because you keep pushing yourself, your mind and your body, it keeps working with each other, and you become more positive and you want to keep accomplishing more, and you become more bearable to be around. If you're a Karen, I promise you, if you do more of these things, hopefully it'll make you less of a Karen. Because no one likes Karens. No one likes to deal with these type of people. But I'm telling you, that kind of stuff helps so much. This is, but when you're having these conversations, you know, when you're facing on these issues, confronting poor performance, owning a mistake you made, calling out bad behavior. These are the things that we're talking about. When you do these hard things once, the next time it's easier. Why? Because you grew. Like I've talked to you about, I think it was in 2022. I went through some really tough stuff, and with the business, and also, personally, I remember just thinking, man, I need to learn everything I need to learn now, with the challenges I'm going through, because I don't want to go through them again. And I had the tough conversations. I did the tough things. I felt like I got out of this thing, on a better foot, and a stronger footing. But those are the things. If you don't handle them the right way, and you take the easy way out, you're going to constantly you're just going to be hit in the face over and over again because you didn't handle it the right way. So teach it early. This is something I talk about with my kids a lot. I tell my kids, if you can just learn to do hard things, you've already won most of the battle. You know, I talk to my boys, my girls, if someone's saying, mean things to them at school or anything like that, just, hey, talk to them. Have that conversation with them. Stand up. Don't just be there. Have that tough conversation. Do those tough things. If someone asks you to do work for them, do that work. Outwork anyone around you, especially these, the generations we see that are coming up. It's with AI and all this modern day technology thing. It's easier for these people to not have to work as hard. So if you can teach your children to work hard, and it starts with, manual labor. If you can teach them with chores and all that kind of stuff, like it not only helps them with their confidence, that they're accomplishing things, and they see immediate gratification. It really does help them in long term. And there's a lot of different studies based upon that. Um, so, but those who, just remember that, but those who learn to do hard things will always rise above. That's what we're getting at here. Okay. Let's end here with a couple quotes. But before we end, as always, we're sponsored by New Clean Commercial Cleaning, CCS. commercial cleaning services up in Idaho Falls, Rexburg area, 2 companies I own. Give us a call, 208-254-7070, and tell us that you heard about us on the podcast. And if we can help you in any of your janitorial or toilet scrubbing needs, we'd love to. Ed Milet says, confidence is built by keeping the promises you make to yourself. That includes promising yourself that you'll have the tough conversations. Phil Knight from Shoe Dog says, life is growth. You grow or you die. If you avoid the hard stuff, your business and your leadership start dying. Alex Hermosi, suffering is the tuition you pay for success. Those hard moments, that's the tuition. Pay it or stay small. Comes down to that, guys and gals. It's hard. It's hard to have those conversations. It's hard to be a leader in business, because you're going to see things that others don't, and you're going to see behavior that's not acceptable, but others don't see a problem with it. You have to have those conversations. You have to have those conversations. It can't be done, through Slack. You have to have those head-on conversations, because you won't grow, and they won't grow, and they won't learn. If you have the conversation correctly, you'll both grow, and you'll have a stronger organization because of it. There's always those win-wins. It doesn't have to be a dominating conversation where only one person wins. That's a lose-lose when it comes to that. If you come out of this where you're feeling like you're beating your chest and you're like, man, I dominated that person. No. If that's your employee, that's your teammate, no, you lost, bro, or you lost, gal. You need to have a conversation with them, either losing their job because of what they did, or feeling empowered, knowing what they can do better from your conversation and how they can do better from your conversation. So give them those steps to be better. Have those hard conversations. Stop hiding. Face the hard conversations. Make the tough calls. And do it knowing you're buying your own growth and long-term respect. And if you're going to be a leader, that's the price of admission. Okay? Hope you guys had a fantastic journey with me today. It's a short one, but short and sweet, but it's going to be one of those ones that hopefully you'll get a little bit out of, and you'll give yourself the power this week to have those tough conversations. I tell my kids a lot, hey, you just need three seconds of bravery. And that's sometimes what you have to do. Just say, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have that conversation I've been meaning to have for a couple weeks, a couple months. It has to happen. Set a day, set a time, and make a meeting, make it happen. Be grateful, be happy, find opportunities to serve others. Adios.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.